Good afternoon, I am Ayesha and this is
I'm Usho now. My English name is Neil.
we're also from St. Paul University, Quezon City, and we are college students. So our action plan will be interactive movable exhibit. So first, background. This project is undertaken to inform fellow youths and children of ways to lessen damage and actions to undertake for when disasters come. And the movable exhibit will address the most common disasters of our country, which is the Philippines. The most common would be fires, earthquakes, landslides, and typhoons and floods. So the first picture you would see on the top left would be a fire in the slums in Manila, which would, as you can see, it has very dark smoke because the slums in Manila are all close together and they use plastics and other very flammable materials just so that they could live. And in the next picture, we would see a landslide that was just recent, maybe within 2015. And the next picture would be the Haiyan, as well as the one below the biggest picture, and this one would be the airplane. Our objectives would be to teach children, just like in the presentation, in the last presentations yesterday. From the activity from Dr. Raquel on the first presenter, who focused on educating the children so that they would know what to do when disasters come or especially after and during and also before, so that they would know what to do and to keep themselves safe when it comes. So, because children are more prone to danger, they are the most susceptible to dangers and disasters. For they are, of course, children, so they're still growing. The knowledge that they have is limited. So we have to educate them in ways to address these, and we have to integrate that knowledge integrate the knowledge and in their minds as well, that their lives are more important than material needs. And as Shoyoung's example, she sees a lot of, when we had our fire and earthquake drill in St. Paul, Quezon City, the children would focus on their bags that are expensive, their Barbie bags, their toys, their books, maybe not books, but their bags and their toys. So they actually take time to get those materials instead of running, instead of keeping themselves safe when it would. Yes, it's only a drill, but we have to integrate in their minds that when disasters come, when the real disasters come, should they go and get their possessions instead of saving their lives, instead of running and keeping themselves safe. So that is one of our objectives. And another would be to strengthen community-based disaster preparedness for community or through direct support of the community's own activity, and educating and implementing simple, ingenious, and local response mechanisms to address disaster emergency situations. So as children grow, they get to become more knowledgeable and become better adults and better youth. So as they grow, we can hear and maybe see that they can implement ideas that are localized within the country. So they can help us and as well as themselves in giving ideas that are that can be, let's say, that are more enculturalized or more local, so that it would be more focused on the Philippine culture. So, and also to increase the knowledge, understanding of disaster phenomena and its different contextual aspects, impacts, and public health and economic consequences. So our scope and method and expected outcomes.
So I will introduce the scope, method, and expected outcome to all of us. So the project hopes to impart knowledge, awareness, and resiliency within the community and to better help children and students in addressing disaster when and after it happens. It will address these issues through projects like an infographic, printing and interactive scale models, posters for the children to remember the skills well. This would be divided into 5 different parts based on the kind of the disaster. For each one, it will include 3 parts before the disaster, when the disaster happens, after the disaster. For the details later, maybe in the end, I will introduce the details to all of us. It will be presented occasionally by volunteers and our students to present and explain what the outputs would entail for their safety.
I would also like to add that in the scope method expected outcomes, we thought that it should be interactive because in applying fun and since children are very active, they're very playful, especially in the ages of elementary and primary schools. They are, yes, very active. So we don't know how to actually teach them that these disasters are serious. These problems are serious problems that they should know that yes, these are serious and we have to address them. They should know what to do. So for us to be able to teach them properly, we thought that it would be best to give them an interactive model. So as you can see in the picture, these models are educational models. Since there's also a trend in interactive museums, these museums can also we thought of that as a basis for our idea that in having fun, in having to teach them they get to learn and they have a better retention in these information. Because of course, as you have fun, you get to learn, meaning that their retention, and by the time they get home, they would be able to tell their parents that, oh, I get to learn this. I learned this, and we can do this, and I can do this, and maybe I have an idea that we can use in our schools. And I've also experienced assisting in Baby Ballet, which is a teaching children ballet in ages 1 to 5. And in playing with them, at the same time teaching them how to dance while playing, help in the retention of the lessons taught in play as they get home. So the expected outcome would be that they get to learn more, at the same time have fun. Because these lessons and drills are, of course, boring even to us. When we are doing the drills, we don't take it seriously, just as we have said in the previous presentations. These drills are boring, so we have to make them fun to children, because if it's boring to us, what about the children? So it would be good that we get to let them have fun at the same time. So, and the estimated budget of the project, I estimated it to be $60 per piece, because it would be a large scale model, maybe this big, so that a lot of children would be able to see and be able to play all at the same time without having to take turns, so that they won't have clogging, especially if they all want to learn at the same time, especially if they go in groups. And yeah, and also assessments with that. So the risks and difficulties in these obstacles, for it to be since these are movable projects, we have transport them in different locations. So if the projects are to be transported, it would cost money to transport it, and it may be damaged in the process. So the project is, yes, susceptible to damage and reconstruction and every change of location. So yes, it's susceptible to damage since these projects would be made by the students, by senior students or by college students. So, and there's a likelihood of damage during and in the process of packing, and even when presenting, there is a possibility of it being damaged since it is interactive. Children get to play with it, so there is a chance that the amount of children there would cause the projects or the presentations itself to be damaged as it is being presented in the exhibit. And the projects within the exhibit, yes, would most probably would have a difficult way of transporting since it's either big scale models or like here in this tarpaulins, it would be printed and it might get damaged and broken. And it would be difficult to maintain and we have to replace it every time it would be damaged.
So for monitoring, evaluation, and sustainability, we can promote the model in other areas with different disasters, retaining the overall framework of the plan in localizing solutions. Schools in high latitude inland areas, for example, which are full to advantages, can replace tsunami precautions with ones about advantages. Collaborations with other schools or organizations within the school and other school years levels or grade would help in maintain the project, using it as an extra predict outcome for students with course with similar theme or subject or objective. And at the end of the project, we would give specialized assignments to check the points from the paper to know how many skills do the children master. And we will also set goals by giving students or participants rewards specifically survival kits like SOS, but with anime or cartoon paragraphs. After assignment, students who are capable will be exposed to helping in translating or teaching the skills from projects. And for the details about the project, for the whole process, we divide the process into 5 parts. They are tsunami, landslide, earthquake, typhoon, and five disasters. So for the structure of the whole exhibition, so it will be divided into 5 parts based on the different kind of disaster. And for each disaster, such as tsunami, we will introduce this kind of disaster before the disaster, during the disaster, and after the disaster, like Ayaka said. And we will teach children about this knowledge such as before, what we should prepare before the disaster, and during the when the disaster happens, when the disaster comes, what should we do? And we also need some knowledge about after disasters. How to rebuild our hometown, how to help people to flee from the shadow which is caused by the disaster. This one is more like psychology problem for the people, and how to rescue yourself or others. And for the exhibition process, when we will do like this, when children enter the exhibition, they can take part in this activity step by step. And at first, we will put a map or a poster at the entrance of the exhibition in order to show the light to them, so that they will know what to do next. And we also want to design the whole exhibition as a game, like playing a game to level up. Because the difficulty will increases with level. Maybe we can put some simple little tasks after each lesson ended, and there's a bigger task in the end of the whole exhibition. If children can get a high marks, they can get a prize, which is very particular, such as stationery or coupon in the canteen. So the students they can have a high motivation to take part in this activity. And for the context, we will formulate a specific context according to the characteristics of virus disasters. Because this project, if it will be established successfully, maybe we will set this as an example to let other schools or some other social groups to study this model if it's success. So for the final conclusion, I want to say education is the root of the nation and the country. No matter what kind of education, the younger the child, the more important the education is at this stage. This is especially true when it comes to safety education, and because we are facing to the children, so the core is learning by playing. Because children, it's a little hard to get children's attention. And for my education from my parents, they also follow this idea, learn by playing, so that children will learn this more faster, and we can get their attention. So that's why we want to make this project. Our purpose is to help children to keep away from the danger and from the disaster. So thank you everyone. Our program is finished.
Great job. So questions and comments from people, please.
Okay, thank you very much for your nice presentation. It's hardworking. It's a good job, hardworking, and I know you are studying 2 days on this presentation. And thank you very much. It's great, and please open the presentation. Yeah. And all part of both budget is great, I think. Yes. It's very detailed budget, and I think it's okay for all the project accelerations. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody? Any question?
Yes, go.
Thank you so much, both of you, for targeting a very important population, which is children.
Yeah.
I think that's where we start. And I think you were very good at detailing every aspect of the action plan. You're very determined to see this forward, so you already plan for the things that you're going to have some issues and some difficulties with, but you also offer a solution, what you're going to do. Sometimes we become walking libraries when we have been here for a long time, many decades, doing the same thing. So a suggestion is that perhaps you add activities like writing things. Little children like to write, and they like to draw, and they like to do something, so it will be less difficult for you when you do your training not to have to carry all those materials all the time. So perhaps one day you can just do a training with less ambitious things, and you can just do arts projects or things to explain how to take care of themselves. And again, there's a lot of good sides that I'm going to share with you. But thank you, it was wonderful. Good job.
Other comments? Good job.
Congratulations, indeed excellent presentation. Professor Marlon and Professor Dennis will be very happy.
Yeah. Students, Professor Martin.
Okay, thank you.
Young people promise about disaster.
Yes. Good.
Your study is very valuable. Thank you very much for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. You did a good job.
My presentation is about fire risk education through education for mass and residential powers, etc. People have depended on fire for centuries for things from cooking and heating to neighbors or self-lighting. And yet, thousands of people die each year as a result of either house fires or wildfires, with direct property loss estimated at $8.6 billion annually. The fire prevention triangle. A fire needs three elements: heat, oxygen, and fuel. Without heat, oxygen, and fuel, a fire will not start or spread. A key strategy to prevent fire is to remove one or more of and heat, oxygen, or fuel. The risk assessment should include detail on all three elements to minimize the risk of fire starting and spreading. The main design options to ensure fire safety are prevention, communications, escape, containment, extinguishment. Glasgow fire. The Glasgow building was 17-story high-rise landmark building in Tehran at the capital city of Iran. The fire and subsequent building collapse was the worst such disaster in Tehran since 2005 when a blaze at historic Moscow killed 59. What was the problem? The report said the building's electrical and heating system and fire safety regulations were not up to standard and contributed to the building fire and collapse. Could classical fire be prevented? The answer is yes, by common understanding of fire safety equipment, facilities and material by shopkeepers. By understanding safety regulations inside and outside of the building. Importance of fire and safety education. The primary purpose of fire safety education is to prevent fire from happening and teach strategies that reduce fire deaths and injuries. Result of effective fire prevention, lower number of fires, lower number of fire deaths, lower number of fire injuries, lower fire loss. My action plan. Fire risk education through training the residents of Madison residential dweller in Tehran. Site of the action plan. Country Iran, city Tehran, region Shahakiyah, site residential building of Madison where I am living. Population about 2,500. Aim of the action plan. Teaching Madison people to read, to listen, to learn, to be aware fire can happen anywhere, to look for places fire can start, to listen for the sound of a smoke alarm, to learn 2 ways out of the each room and have a form from each exit to the house. What to do when fire breaks out? Raise the alarm, shall to wake everyone up, get everyone together, and make your way out by the quickest route. Do not investigate the fire, do not open any doors other than ones which you need to escape through. If there is a small crawl around with your nose near the floor where the air will be cleaner. Do not use the lift. Target audience, children, seniors, special needs and disabilities. I'm a housewife. Timing, the action plan will be implemented from May 2019 to till October 2019. Proposed budget is only printing materials, $50. Accepted result of my action plan. We accept through this training residents have the real knowledge about possibilities of the incident. We expect people to have a strong precaution about fire. Future perspective in case of successful implementation of this action plan, we can form a volunteer group to train other residential complexes in the neighborhood. Thank you.
Please put the slide back. Yep, good. Thank you very much. Comments? And suggestions? Where is the fire escape in this room? Can you tell us?
What?
Where is the fire escape in this room?
In this room? I don't know.
We can open the window.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we have a door.
Crash window.
Yes.
I will take the
And also
chandelier.
the lamp.
Swing by the chandelier. Any suggestions or comments?
I think we also had some tremendously lethal disasters recently in Bangladesh from fire.
Yeah.
And in California from forest fires, with building fires. So but you're focusing on apartment fires in the house, yeah? Do you also have like forest fires, the bushfires in Iran? Yeah?
No, I don't think so.
And in the building safety standards in Iran, you're an architect. What's the regulation on fire escapes? Your action plan will try to look at if the standards are enforced, and do you need to make the standards better than they are, do you think? Or it's just a problem not to implement the standards that we have now? So there are some standards which exist. Are those standards good enough? Or do you think they can be improved to become better?
میگه که آیا چیز دیگه هست که بتونه بهترش کنه برای خراب کردن از
I don't have any idea now.
Okay. Is the implementation of standards, you're saying that's not so good? Many old buildings don't implement their standards, yeah? And do you, for example, in the corridors and the apartment buildings, do people put many furniture and other things?
So you can tell them to remove these things or to be careful.
And I would like to ask a question on your presentation. Please come. Yes. Children is serious special needs and disabilities and housewives. What about the cats and other animals, households? Do you think anything up?
They are first started islands, then we can have cats.
First humans and then animals. Okay. It is not fair, but okay. Is there any question?
Can you go back to your next slide?
Next slide.
The next, the action plan.
Next year.
Come down.
Which one?
This one.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay,
Thank you.
you have a comment?
Yeah, I was thinking that we had a lot of fires very recently, and this because of the urbanization, we have 19-story, 20-story buildings, which are in office buildings. These were originally residential plots, but now they have influenced the government to make them into commercial plots. So now there are hotels and offices, and they all have glass windows. Okay, and a lot of plastic chairs and plastic the walls, in between rooms. The offices are made of almost like plastic, everything. And people are working either with computers or there are some garment factories. So these are all different offices. And recently there was a fire on a 20-story building. Now there is no fire escape except a staircase inside the building. There were recently 3 or 4 ones. This is the most recent one I'm telling you. And the women, those who go to these posh offices, they don't wear saris. They wear pants and t-shirts or shirts and things, But they don't wear saris because if they had worn saris, like the garment factory women did, they all tied their saris together, one after another, like a rope. And then they tied it around a machine, and one by one they would get down. So most of them were saved. But here, they were saying on the mobile, save us. we are dying of smoke. And some men, they crashed out and they hit the pavement and they died instantly. So when at last the fire service could get in, one of them also died, one of the firemen died. By that time, 29 people have died of smoke and fire. Few of them, before the smoke became very bad, they went up the roof, and some of the women couldn't jump to the next roof, but the men helped them. But it was a very bad tragedy. And this is because there was no really genuine fire escape. If every floor or every office had their own fire escape, you know, the usual ones we had before, which is made of wrought iron, goes like this, round and round. In the old days, we used to have in all the buildings, the 4-story building, and these are 20-story buildings. So you have to have several layers of staircases. And there was nothing. And we wonder why they were given the permission to build like this when there is no escape. There will be no escape, even if there is an earthquake, fire, any hazard, there will be no escape. This is what we are asking, that how can they get permission to build a 20-story building, and there are several buildings all in a row. And now people are scared to live in an area where there is a long or tall building, because if it catches fire, it might go to their houses also. So these are the things which, as an architect, you have to make sure. Also, the exits should be there, and we have taken a decision in our apartment, which is only 6-story, that we will have every floor and every house will have the fire extinguishers.
Okay, we need to, I think, final comment from the speaker. Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you like to make some responses? You have to have fire extinguishers in Iran?
Just خاموش کردن داره.
Yes.
تشکر کنید.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now, Shadow.
No, next action plan, please. Thank you. USB key. Thank you. We have this. By the way, I don't think we're planning any afternoon tea break, so if you need to go out, go out.
Good afternoon, everyone. So this is our action plan. Mind your mind. It's actually inspired by a seminar in our school, which is St. Paul University, and it's also named Mind Your Mind. And this is inspired because of the recent suicide rates in the Philippines, wherein this action plan would focus on counseling senior high school students. And let's check the background. So, in the Philippines, there are 800,000 people that die globally, and that's every year. Then, in the Philippines, and in 2012, there are 2,550 recorded suicides. And in 2017, there is a 3.8% suicide rate, which is based on the World Health Organization fact sheet. I've also researched and I was looking for other statistics in 2018. However, not much research was done and statistics were not shown, which is why I've only showed 2012 and 2017, which is still a really big statistics of suicide rates in the Philippines. And there's a cultural stigma in seeking counsel, which is why we hope that in St. Paul University we remove the stigma. So with these little baby steps, we promote seeking counsel and self-help within the Philippine culture.
Another part of our background is an action plan that will use psychological first aid and early psychological interventions for survivors of disasters and also extreme events. And we use Schultz and Forbes as a reference.
So our objectives in this Mind Your Mind action plan is to promote the importance of mental health and prevent psychological disasters on campus. Because as of recently, we've seen that in the campus, though we have advocacies and programs that help in mental health awareness, it hasn't, the implementation is not as strict and as strong that we hope that with this action plan, it would help in the mental health awareness within the campus, as well as removing the stigma in seeking counsel, because most of the Philippine culture think that when you seek help from the psychologists, that you are weak and that you are crazy.
And also promoting self-help, which is very, very, very important in adolescents as nowadays, because for me, some of my friends always tell me to promote self-help, self-love. So it's very important because it builds stronger mindset of loving yourself and helping yourself to be stronger. So our action plan, we will establish a core first with psychologically burdened students in the senior high school department in St. Paul University of Quezon City. And the reason why we want to focus on senior high school students, because as Professor Tahera said a while ago, adolescents are the emotions are very prevalent, and critical developmental stages with 50% of mental disorders are presenting in the age of 14 years. So in senior high school, it's very important that we focus on them, because it starts to develop the critical thinking and mostly emotional disasters.
So this would be done by small peer group, through small peer group discussions and counseling. Our rough estimate of the small group would be 20, and this would be facilitated by volunteer students and certified counselors in the school, as well as psychology students. And from these groups, we will confidentially introduce high-risk individuals for counseling from certified counselors within the school, as well as affiliated organizations. And here are our resources of volunteer facilitators. That would be us, as well as third year and fourth year of psychology students in St. Paul University. And
as well as volunteer counselors, we would ask the help of our guidance counselors and also our dean in psychology, as well as the Psychological Association of the Philippines, which is an organization.
So we will ask the university for accommodation, help in providing the promotional materials and the clearance and consent forms, because we are going to focus on the students of St. Paul University. Therefore, we hope to ask the university to help us in this endeavor and giving us the access to some parts of the university, like the gym or some classrooms. Now, the time frame is more of a one-year program, hopefully, and it is only based on a few months, because we are still not sure of the school calendar.
They're rough estimates.
So this is just a rough estimate of what we hope to do. And the first phase would be meeting with the department heads, Psychology Society of St. Paul University, the Guidance Center, Psychology Association of the Philippines, and the Community Development and Advocacy Center, which is DAC, and Student Affairs Office, as well as us, the project managers, wherein we have meetings and to help in developing the program well and fitting the program within the school calendar. The phase 2 would be the promotion and awareness discussion with participants. Here we discuss and open the proposal, the action plan with students of senior high school during institutional events for them to be more aware and to ask for their opinions and what they hope they would find in this action plan and how it would help them, asking them for opinions and what they think would be beneficial for them, and let's say for activities.
And the phase 3 and 4 is the commencement of peer group counseling. So this is the time where we establish the group counseling with our volunteer counselors and as well as us, the facilitators. And after every in each strand, we would have progress reports on how the participants are doing. Is it evolving? Is it helping them? The phase 5 is the final assessment of the project. So we would keep records of our group discussions and of course ensure the confidentiality of referrals and counseling that's
So here are the challenges that we would face, and the stigma of seeking counsel, which is evident in the campus, wherein some students would laugh and make fun of some students if they seek counsel, which is what we want to eradicate. Then possible lack of participation in the group discussions, strict confidentiality, and time.
So our resolution to the challenges is promoting open-mindedness, since Sophia mentioned that here possible lack of participation in group discussions. We wanted to promote open-mindedness, not because you seek counsel, they have to make fun of you. We don't want that. We want a safe space for students to open up what they're feeling, and also coordinating with counselors, as I said, our ethics committee and affiliated organizations. Also organizing a time frame with considerations and meetings and management of files by the project managers, us, and guidance counselors.
This is just a rough estimate, and we are still not sure how we are going to go with the budget. We are going to ask some of our professors and the deans to help us with the budget, but this is, however, what we thought of the budget, wherein we are going to ask the school for materials for promotion, let's say the miscellaneous brochures and materials for what we use for promotion, and the snacks or meals, where we are going to have when we have discussions, the transportation of the counselors if we have affiliations that we ask from different parts of the Philippines, as well as the campus accommodation and the total estimated budget.
And our estimated budget, we just want to clear that this is a rough estimate, and this is for the whole year.
Sustainability, if the action plan is successful, we hope that we continue it, and through this we would ask feedback from the students if this is successful, and if it is, we hope that we have a strict and continuous implementation and management, as well as asking the progress of the students. If we continue with the action plan, if there's a progress in their mental health, as well as if a lot more students would seek counsel when they have psychological burdens. The go back would be an additional part if it is successful, wherein the go back would have, let's say, digital apps where they could seek counsel from. Let's say a psychological first aid app, which was a recommendation from Professor Raquel. So I'm thankful for our recommendation, as well as other brochures and mental health hotlines and emergency hotlines, as well as group emails where they could be anonymous in seeking counsel from certified counselors. Then we hope to seek more affiliations and support from organizations in the Philippines, and if this is promoted, we hope to as well seek affiliation from international organizations and to spread this action plan not only in the campus of St. Paul University but as well as nationwide. And that would be all.
That would be all. Thank you. Any questions, concerns? Professor Raquel, thank you for helping us in our action plan. Thank you.
I'd like to that I may help you to carry out the project.
Thank you. Thank you, Doc.
Other comments?
Thank you for your slide for action plans. It's really good. But I'm wondering, will you apply on just Philippines or some special country or whole world? Or the another question, if you apply this, how can we solve the results of this? Thank you.
Well, we are starting with baby steps, and with starting from St. Paul University, we hope that this spreads nationwide as well as internationally. If we gain affiliations from organizations internationally, wherein we could spread this action plan, as well as further with the improvements in the details of the action plan, and seek counsel from more credible and counselors who have credentials who could help in furthering improvement with the action plan. And if this does go internationally, I hope that if we are not going to hold be the project managers, we hope to actually be more transparent in the results. We are hoping that the results would show good results, and even if it doesn't, we would still be transparent with the information. But we would be
some of the details and how we would implement it better.
But the transparency would only be based on the statistics and keep the names anonymous.
Consider.
Confidentiality would still be a big part of the program.
Thank you.
I had the privilege of assisting these two future colleagues. I had the privilege of assisting and listening to these future colleagues. They both are in a program and they're going to be psychologists. Their mind is in the right spot, and the fact that they want to address something that we're all concerned, which is prevention of youth suicide, is to be commendable. Thank you so much again for your hard work, and good luck to you.
Okay. Thank you. I think you've done a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you, and look forward to reporting to your president that you deserved to come. Thank you.
يشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Hi everybody, I am Mahmoud from Aleppo, from Syria. I am a medical student. I study in Islamic Faculty of Medicine. Today I am going to talk about my city. So I would like to start my speech by thanking Dr. Hakan Ayrton and Dr. Malay here for their inviting to me to do this presentation, and of course thank you all for listening. So the aim is to introduce the culture of Syria and Syrian cities, and to introduce some of the roles of Syria and Syrian people in science, and some of the ethical and physical disasters that happened during the war since 2011. And what was my feeling about the war as a child in that time, and to introduce how was the war started and how Syrian people migrated to other countries, and to try to find solutions. So, Syrian culture recorded from 5 millennia BC before, or even before. So, it is one of the oldest cultures in the world. There was a lot of cultures that lived in this ground before it was named as Syria. And even somebody called it the source of culture. It has a lot of mementos, especially in the city of Palmyra. So Aleppo is the cultural capital of Syria, and Damascus is the political capital. Some researchers have proven that Damascus and Aleppo is the oldest historical cities in the world. So Syria was the meeting point of the Persian and the Roman empires, as you can see. So the interest of Islam into Syria, 636 AD, in the era of Khalifa Umar ibn Khattab, Muslims entered the Syrian lands without any devastation or any disaster. So Syria has a large Muslim culture. It contains the Umayyad Mosque, that is the fourth mosque in Islam after Mecca, Medina, Al-Aqsa, and is one of the biggest mosques in the world. So it contains a lot of prophets and companions' sepulchres. Example, Khalid al-Walid and Bilal al-Habashi, etc. So Syria was the capital of Umayyad state in the 7th and 8th centuries, as you can see. And some people also say that the life has started in Syria and it will end soon there. So its importance as a trading road, a road called Tariq Harir, that means Silk Road, is passing through Aleppo, Syria, and it is a very important road in trading silk and other materials. Importance as a religion road. Palestine had many prophets and important religion places, and this is why it's important for most religions. But the passengers of Palestine passed through Syria, and therefore it has an importance in different religions too. And Saudi Arabia has a very important place in the Islamic region. The passengers of Saudi Arabia also passes from Syria into Hijaz by a special trainway that is called the Hijaz Railroad. It's only for Hijaz. So in Syria, we had the first invention of agriculture and the first animal husbandry, and some of our claims that we had the best chiefs and the best apples in the world. So some of our contributions, I couldn't write it all, so one of them is invention of the alphabet. So this rock is right now in a museum in Damascus. First production of ships also, and etc. So, example of our scientists, Akshen Sattin is a very famous scientist, especially in Turkey, but he's a Syrian, scientist of medicine, plants and pharmacy, and he is the teacher of Fatih Sultan Mehmed, the one who opened Istanbul. And also Al-Battani, he is, you can see, he's the best astronomy scientist ever. So he proved that the year is contained of 365 days. and Ibn Nafis in medicine, and Imam Nawawi in religion, and a lot of more. So the French archaeologist André Barreau also says each civilized human has two homelands, his motherland and Syria. So he believes that Syria is the mother of cultures. Okay. History of occupation and independence. In 1920, Syria was occupied by France. In 1946, it was independent. In 1970, Hafez al-Assad became president by a coup. And in 2000, until now, his son inherited the presidency. So, Syrian president was supposed to be democratically elected, but he is a dictator. And therefore, a lot of injustice and other ethical problems happened then through the following 40 years. For example, the scientists and teachers weren't being respected, wrongful was the good man, the police like the faith itself, and etc. So in 2011, the community wanted to stop this persecution. The community wanted to stop this persecution.
Another microphone, yes.
And people wanted their rights, but the government started to kill these people that wanted their rights, and they started the violence and disaster. After that, it was not enough to kill these people by the government, so the government just continued destroying everybody and killing all kinds of people, men, women, children, young and older people, Muslims and non-Muslims. And they applied imprisonment for every kind of people they wished. And in these jails, they apply very hard torture. So, approximately this war, 1 million people, 1 million Syrians were killed in the war in Syria, and 7 million people migrated out of Syria, like me, and 4 million people migrated inside Syria. So before the war, there were approximately 20 million Syrian people. Now it is approximately 11 million people who live in Syria. There have been big psychological and physical disasters all around the Syrian community. It is still like that until now. One of the most important problems that is happening is the education. No more schools for most Syrian children in interior and exterior of Syria. So for the Syrian people who migrated out of Syria, the only country that welcomed them in the best way, not like the others, is Turkey. Big amount of Syrian refugees traveled into Turkey, Lebanon, and Jordan. The refugees in Turkey could have Turkish education in Turkish schools with Turkish students, while most of the refugees in Lebanon and Jordan could not approach to the successful education yet, but sadly. So we thank the Turkish government because they gave the aid hand to the Syrian refugees more than any other country did. This is a big honor for us from Turkey, and we promised to do the best to pay them back these preferences. Thanks so much. Syrian people, no, it's not it.
Not yet.
But thank you. Syrian people migrate all over the world. So, Syrian refugees who travel to some countries was the reason of rising cultural variation and economical power, especially in Egypt and Turkey. Some Syrian refugees, which are being or have been educated in school or universities, are showing effort to show that the refugee can also do the best he could do. And we saw and still seeing a lot of examples, like last year, for example, in Gaza Faculty of Medicine, Yıldız Technical Faculty of Engineering, and Istanbul University Faculty of Engineering. First place is Syria. So, the solutions. We'll continue our effort forever if you need to. And we'll still do the best we can until we reach our destination. We believe that there will be a day that Syria will be independent, and war will stop in Syria and will stop in all over the world. We had a very enormous promise, a promise that can't be denied. It told us that the victory is immediate, and we know that being united is solution for this issue. So my plan is to learn and be expert in my vocation as best as I can, and to become a medical doctor whose aim is to help people everywhere, and to show the best effort and try to rebuild our site and other demolished sites all over the world, because our religion encourages that, and our prophet, pray be upon him, has advised that to us. To show to the world that a human can be more than an army with his or her science and contribution into benefits. To document testimonies from others, to share what we have faced and how we can overcome this crisis to let the rose bloom again. Our plan as a Syrian community to rebuild Syria better than it was before, and to use all of our education, experience, effort, and energy to make Syria the capital of the science and the target of all tourists and students all over the world, and the place of safety and justice, the place of reconstruction and development, and place of treasure. We will never give up. Thank you for listening, and this is my other husband. So, any questions?
Any questions? I think it's a great job. Yeah. Any comments or questions?
Yes.
Please, yeah.
You have written books on mathematics.
Yeah.
And you are now studying medicine.
Yeah.
Both are very important subjects. How do you integrate these two?
Allah helps.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other comments, or questions? So, yes.
I'm really moved, because it's the first time that I've heard from a Syrian on the conditions. Because, to tell the truth, every day, every night, I say my special prayers for Syria and for Gaza.
Thank you.
This is my prayers to Allah, that Allah give them the strength so that they can live normally, because they fell into the politics of bigger countries who could have wiped out the evil. Instead of that, they are promoting evil. So the evils always will promote evils. But you as a Muslim have kept up your confidence and your plans for the future without any hatred in your heart. I don't see any hatred in your heart. And believe me, from today I'm going to pray more and more to Allah Almighty. Inshallah, I'm going to Umrah and special prayers to make for this, because we have seen the demolition of a country so well built into pieces and the children dying so badly. This cannot happen in the 21st century. If it happened in any country in Europe, we would have the whole of the first world on us. But because we, the Middle East countries and all of us, we couldn't stick together, that is why they broke us up.
Yes, very true.
If Malaysia could have, like Malaysia is very strong. Malaysia supported you, and we all support you. But the other countries who control the economy, control the petroleum, have taken all the monuments from Pamira, taken all your wealth, they will have to pay for it one day in a very bad way. May Allah bless you and all the Syrians. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Would you like to make any final words, or?
Thank you for your praying, and thank you for your recommendation. I hope safety will be all over the world in one day. Thank you very much.
Maybe I'll just make one comment. Since you wrote a book on IQ, it seems like the world has a very low IQ. We need to educate to fix it. Thank you very much. Thank you.